Hi everyone, I'm Tim Meneses, and I will be going over my director's commentary for my movie, Silent Killer. Alrighty, let's talk about intro sequence. I knew that I wanted to have a simple and cinematic intro already, and the whole process for creating that, even though it was it's a quick intro, it took me quite a while, mainly because finding the right music and font took forever. For like font was I was just like scrolling down each font and then just trying to find one that fits, well. Luckily I did. Okay, for this opening scene, we're introduced to Sam, and with that, and with the shot, I wanted the audience to be right there in their personal space. I didn't want to do an extreme close up because that would just be like, bam, like in your face sort of thing, and I didn't want to scare any of you guys. So with that, I wanted the audience to generalize, what you think she's thinking about. I left it a little vague for the viewer, so that you can find a level of connection. It doesn't have to be right or wrong. It's just as long as you connect to the character, then it'll be all worth it. And then with the transition into the full shot, I wanted that distance to be further from the audience now, to show that the character's movements is always moving forward or towards something else or someone.
Hi,
This was also one of my
I'm
favorite
Sam.
shots. The location was maybe a few blocks from my house, so I was really fortunate to have that in the area. They local artist actually goes around and does graffiti work on blank canvases around the town, which is pretty cool.
Where
Little
is
side note.
Max? What's taking him so long?
But for this
He knows
shot
I'm
though,
here.
originally I wanted to do a tracking shot, but I didn't have a dolly nor a gimbal, and my handheld skills are terrible when it comes to that.
All right. Let's see where this
Okay,
goes.
so this part of the scene after or when Sam picks up Max was supposed to take place at a local coffee shop, but unfortunately I didn't have the permits or the scheduling to film it, so I had to scrap that part of the scene. But it was good, and so I moved on. So with this part, I know the transition was a little vague, but I hope it kind of translated for that part. But throughout the film, including this scene, directing my actor for the clip was really fun. All the questions she would ask me, like where to look, how should I act, like how do I act that way. I would just give her an explanation and try to draw those emotions out with her. And I found out just communicating, effectively, will help like dramatically. So that was a really good experience to do. Even though I'm still working on how to direct people and give that, is still a learning process, which is always great. All right, so as you can see, this is not my main actor, but this is my sister filling in that role for her. So I made do. The panning shot and the close up of the actor, I tried my best again to make it feel like we were in a tight space with her. So the only thing in focus is her, while the foreground and background is just like sandwiching her. I just wanted the audience to feel like claustrophobic and anxious for this particular scene. And then lighting, I set a small light with a red filter on it coming off of her right side of the face for a little, depth to her inner thoughts. So it just creates some sort of anxiety in request for any relationship, pretty much. In this scene, it's an emotional one. It's where she's feeling like a ton of emotions being like crashed into her. So there's always like a push or pull kind of reaction and some sort of anxiousness, like she doesn't know what to expect. And it was fun too, directing my actor for this part. I gave her, some advice on body movement and fidget or fidgetiness with her hands, and like she made it her own, and it was a great performance on her end, which I really enjoyed. All right, so right here, my music choice was pretty simple. I wanted something mellow and smooth, and something you can kind of, flow along with. It's very it's an instrumental. It has sort of a soulful hip hop vibe to it, but once you attach that to her emotions, you kind of get taken along with her for the ride. So it's sort of like that feeling when you hear like a track or a song that you love, like on repeat all the time. So you kind of just surrender yourself to it. So that feeling, I kind of wanted to translate what she's going through throughout the entire scene until the end. And also, again, I think she, played that part wonderfully. This last scene was one of my favorite shots to take, and it was a completely happy accident, and I was very lucky enough for the train to pass by to get that shot that I wanted. I knew that they had trains that passed by, but I didn't know what time of day. So fortunately, I got the shot. I was really happy with it. But the only problem with that was my audio wasn't adjusted accordingly, so the audio is like completely blown out. Like the sound of the train passing by and like the rails grinding. Oh man, it was pretty bad. So I couldn't salvage the audio, but it still worked out great. I just took out the audio and then just put really chill music over it, so it made the story, connect all the way till the end. And as for the ending, it's open to interpretation. I wanted it to be a little ambiguous, of course, but just keep in mind that in the end, she's still moving forward. That's pretty much it. Again, my name is Tim Meneses, and I hope you guys enjoyed my commentary. Bye.